Hey, this is Mark.
And I'm Daniel.
We play in the band Nothing More, and you're watching Capital Chaos TV.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Black from Capital Chaos TV, and I'm here with Daniel, the bassist, and Mark, the guitarist, for Nothing More, who's performing tonight here at the Cargo in the Whitney Peak Hotel in Reno on an off night from their tour with Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger Death Punch. Their most recent album, The Stories We Tell Ourselves, has been nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, and they're known for their live performances, which are amazing. And part of why they're so amazing is that Daniel conceived some crazy contraptions, one of which is the scorpion tail and this bass contraption, from scrap metal and auto and motorcycle salvage parts. So Daniel, would you like to tell us a little about how this came to be and how you incorporated these into your live performances?
Yeah. Now, building something is definitely something that I've always kind of been interested in as a child. And I used to race motocross and go-karts and RC cars and all sorts of kind of the motorsport game. But never learned how to weld professionally. And I used to make us like these boxes for us to stand on stage, and they were just terrible. Like, people were getting nails through their feet, stuff like that. And finally, a buddy of mine was like, dude, you got to pick up a welder. It's awesome. You're going to love it. And, at the time, I had no money, so that was a big obstacle. And it took until I got the idea for the spinning, locking bass solo before I finally went out and bought a welder, because I knew it couldn't be made out of wood. It had to be done with metal. And started working on that just in my parents' garage and really fell in love with it. And it's kind of funny because my friend kind of showed me the ropes, but then obviously you just spend hours and hours experimenting. And that first thing took me about 6 months to build in my spare time. And I didn't tell the band what I was doing, and I didn't show them any of it because I was too scared that they were going to think it's stupid or shoot me down too early on in the process. But and the first time I showed them, Drumtron hadn't been invented, which is the big steel drums that Johnny plays. So the bass stand actually went into this trash can with a symbol on it that I reinforced with steel, because that was a part of our show back in the day. Things were pretty cheesy and low budget then. But yeah, since then I've really fallen in love with building this stuff on stage, and the latest and greatest thing is the scorpion tail. That was an idea that Johnny actually had the original idea to what he called DJ the band about 4 or 5 years ago. And he came into the rehearsal room with this little kind of MIDI controller. It looked like a video game controller. And we plugged the guitars and the bass and his vocal and some of the drums through the computer. And he was able to, in real time, we'd just play a riff, and he'd move this video game controller, and it would pitch the guitars or, stutter edit it, like, kind of very dubstep-like. And it sounded incredible. And it's like, this is way too cool of an idea to not pursue. But the problem was it just looked really small and dumb, because he's just like, and it was kind of cool. But when you think of putting yourself in front of 1,000 people, nobody would know what's happening. So I just kind of put that in the back of my head. And with a friend of mine, we started designing what the actual tail piece. We're actually out on the road with Periphery at the time, and it was January, probably the coldest winter the U.S. had in 50 years, and we're out there welding, most days that it wasn't snowing. And we got that to a point, and then it just kind of sat in the storage unit for a couple years, and it took until this last record cycle. We're a self-produced band, and the other 3 guys are way more studio proficient than I am. I actually hate the studio. But so once I'm done recording my parts, I would get to go into the garage for the remainder of the time and just build these metal things while they're editing drums and, getting all the just all the little fine details of the album done. So that was when I built the lift, and they were coming in and out of the garage all the time, so I got to bounce ideas off them. But the original idea was it was just going to be a mic stand that Johnny could jump on, and it'd be pretty big. And then I got the idea to send the whole drums into the air, and I didn't know what that was going to be yet. And then Ben just walked into the garage one night when I was working and was like, we got to do this scorpion tail thing up on top of that drum set. And I'm like, I don't know why I didn't think of it, but you're totally right. So, and that's kind of how that came to be.
Mark, you're a man of many talents. I've read that in addition to guitar and a little bass and drums, you also play piano and maybe a little ukulele or violin. And what surprises me the most is that you're so energetic and dynamic, and your live show, again, is just epic. And then your most recent single, Just Say When, which has been streamed more than 5 million times, and the video's been viewed more than 1 million, is this beautiful, still, acoustic song. And I just wanted to ask you what that's like for you to have a single that's still compared to your crazy, chaotic, energetic performances that we're used to. Nothing more.
Yeah. No, it feels really cool. Honestly, as an artist, it's fun to not be pigeonholed into one genre. It's nice when you get to be, very dynamic, and you can make a song bare bones, kind of like Just Say When. And it was personally fun for me just to kind of mess around with some different tunings, and that song's just in like an open major tuning, so it's cool to just have that. Like, I can kind of be the percussion section too, in folk music a lot of times, you have the kick and the snare on the guitar as well, or just exemplifying that. I'm really happy, honestly, with how much it's caught on with everybody, how people are relating to it emotionally, and really, really connecting with that kind of the point of the song, being kind of at that point in a relationship where you're unsure of whether to hold on or let go, because it unfortunately happens all too often these days, I think. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. And I just want to let everyone know Nothing More is not a show that you should miss. So they're going to be coming to a city near you. So whether it's on their current tour with Bad Wolves, Five Finger Death Punch, and Breaking Benjamin, whether it's one of their off-night headlining dates with Bad Wolves, or whether it's their fall UK European tour with Of Mice and Men and My Bullet for My Valentine, make sure you go out and see them. You won't regret it. And this is Jennifer Black for Capital Chaos TV.